Ladies and gentlemen, markets had I actually had a pretty decent day. I put big green day in the title. We are going to go over that because there is one specific zone that I'm watching that I've continued to say, like, hey, we're bullish above, we're bearish below. Can we hang on to it? And every day we've literally been dancing around it. Like, we gapped down, came right back above, sold off. Today, yesterday we sold off, right? Even made a new low and then came screaming right back. As of the futures open, we are still up. So, and this is the bright yellow zone I'm talking about is right here. Let me really zoom in on this. So here was today, almost right to this other bright yellow zone that we're talking about, because that's correction territory. If we get past that, we did put in. Yesterday we went low. First of all, there was an attack over the weekend. No one actually cared. Bought it right back up. Oh, but there was a new attack, so we sold back off. New or low, bought it right back up. And I don't know what to make out of this, other than when you really look at it, nothing's actually changed. Lower lows, lower highs. This seems arguably lower lows, lower highs. If you're talking about the wicks, there was orders that were low, and if this were to reverse, technically we have not put in a higher high or even a sideways pattern at that. Bird's eye view, big picture, still the market very sideways just in general. But I was talking about, hey, a correction might be on the table because we kept seeing this sell side activity, but this zone down here, and the two that I have bright right now, hang on, we're gonna lighten this one up. The two that I have bright right now are just ironclad, like they won't stop. So plenty of buy orders there. A lot of people just they don't care. They're keeping it there. This is as of the futures opening, so the futures had a tiny little gap up. We're pushing up green right now. I took a short position at the end of the day. I ended up grabbing SPXS. It's a bear ETF. I don't know. And if it was up at this zone, I'd probably take an options play. Maybe if it was actually just above it. Looking at the expected moves, though. Let's see. Oh, I'm type 2 short on the NASDAQ. I'm right there with you. Well, I have my SQQQ position. As far as the expected moves, we're just right back at Friday's close. We've done nothing. So coming into this zone right here, this is what I would really be watching, because if we reject right here, if tech were to take a hit right now, Tech carries enough weight that it's gonna just make the S&P do some weird things. So we've been sideways, kind of in this smaller channel right here. So I have these two zones highlighted bright yellow. That's where I think the bulk of the sideways action is happening. We have these outliers getting outside, but if we confidently close above or below, and we don't just here, you could have got faked out pretty easily right here because we got above and stayed above. So looking for that again. Let's just talk about this area right here. We get above, we're staying on top. Not only are we trying it again, we're actually holding. Things actually look good right here. Now, this goes without saying, anything can happen at any point in time. I mean, that's what stops are for, right? If I had a crystal ball, I wouldn't bother with the stop loss. But, we get outside, like, oh, here we go, right back in. At one point in time, that was a red candle, close as a wick. We got outside, nope, right back through. Same thing here, right back in. So I gotta say, I'd be looking out for sellers right now, which is why I would lean towards the. Now I have SQQQ. You might have a bear. I guess you could do a bear call spread, bear put spread, where you buy and sell a put, kind of limit your risk on that. But overall, Qs are actually slightly up compared to Friday. Let's see. Robinhood live stream? What do you mean? I bought some SQQQ at the end of the day. Monthly's risking capital. Well, did you buy the monthly's risking capital? Oh, you're long a QQQ put. Okay, I see what you're saying. I do like risking capital plays. Hey, it's either making me money or it's not. There's not a lot in between. In fact, there's no in between. Looking at Grandpa Dow. Even that ran into a zone. That looks like as a zone play, that would be a short and a lower high. Looking at the Russell, also ran into a zone and a lower high. If we were just to play price action in general, the S&P is the only one that's not in a zone. Everything else ran to a zone where we would look for sellers right now. And the Nasdaq's the only one that's up from Friday. Interesting. I gotta say, I favor the short. Now we could get attacked, or something like that could happen, and then we'd be really red, and obviously that would suck. I forgot where I was going with that. Other than, I was thinking, like, the second I said if we get attacked, I was thinking what happened at like 9/11. You had like anywhere from 9 to 90-year-old everything just trying to enlist. Let me just go over there and get some. But outside of that, I don't know what kind of red catalyst we have. Now, the interesting thing here is Bitcoin not only has sat out a lot of this, but has also had a green push. We're kind of holding this weekly zone right here, which I thought we would get the continuation the way that thing looked. Again, I'm still buying my major Bitcoin 50 or lower. So I have a lot, so it's cool to see it bounce, I guess. But okay, I'm not selling it regardless. It doesn't actually matter. Let's see. There was our weekly range. As soon as we closed out of that, absolutely sent it. Yeah, it is very interesting to see that. What are you guys in right now? I need you to hit the thumbs up button for me while you are here. Let's break some things down. Again, just this is a pretty easy. I like to come on here and give like a midweek recap, kind of give you my thoughts, and these are my thoughts. I know it kind of looks like if you don't truly understand zones, this might look like meaningless to you, but we're bouncing right here. Now we tried to gap completely around it. We have a strong day through, right back through, and again another strong day right through. Do we rein it back in? Do we go higher? So seriously, all my thoughts right here. And now I've been long. I grabbed a long position down here. I'll grab a short position up here as we kind of bounce around at this zone. But I really want us to leave this zone. As soon as we leave, like I thought we had it here. I was like, here we go. It's about time. I'm tired of talking about this zone right here. This 6850 zone right now. I'm absolutely tired of talking about. If we push up to the next zone, still we can't talk about all-time highs until this lower high situation stops. But again, this is what we talked about back in January, how this year largely is going to be sideways. We'll be up a couple percent, down a couple percent. There's a lot of people talking about a crash or a correction that happens all on midterm years. And if you actually look into that, it's I want to call it some weird accounting. But we push up, then we pull back, and then we push back up again. And in that range from high to low, there's a correction in there, which isn't technically wrong when someone says there's a correction. Now, we didn't really get that surge, so this would be the high. To talk about a correction, we would need to break this zone right here. And I think if we do that, we probably really are. So keeping that on the back burner for now. Other than that, this is kind of the nonsense. I really thought with the Iran news, and we saw these drastic sell-offs. What's more surprising me right now is how much the markets are shrugging this off. And usually it's all the same. We'll buy the dip all the time, but usually like bigger participants will let the sell-off happen. Like, oh yeah, oh no, everyone's worried, and then they buy the dip later. But it's like there's a panic buy. Like, oh crap, we got this is gonna be, it's never gonna get this low ever again. Like there's absolutely, if you're bearish, there's no time to just be hanging out, falling asleep on the job, because you might think you're doing good, and you check that chart 10 minutes later, and all of a sudden we're talking about all-time highs again. World peace. I sold the 11s on Mara for next Friday. I like that play. We talked about that in the group quite a bit. It's above this zone right here. I do like that. A lot of the Bitcoin ones are actually up right now. Well, at least having a good day. Beto. There you go. Now, you might notice Beto pays the dividend like NVIDIA. Coincidence? Just saying. Bet you wish you bought Nvidia at 10. Just kidding. They have nothing to do with each other, other than they're publicly traded. That's about how much they have in common. Beto is up. I do share quite a bit of that with some people, but it kind of looks like this before we get a crazy gap down. I'm letting it ride. I hope the dividends come back. That's all. Jay says, I'm long SPY. Oh, okay, March and June. I knew this, and you're not long SPY, but okay, you're long the puts. March and June puts. Been selling weeklies against them, and we have red days with Cody. SQQQ at the end of the day today as well. Nice. Now, honestly, if I'm long a put or if I'm long SPY calls, I do kind of like selling next days. If we have a rocking day like today, I would have sold tomorrow's expiration. No, I'm thinking calls. On the put side, we would need a red day. Anytime we send it in that favor, I like to sell the next day's expiration. That overnight theta destroys some options contracts. Like if you're a gambler that has no idea what they're doing in the options world, you'll probably lose your money pretty quick. When you try like next day expiration, something like that, because that theta is just gonna happen. You're like, well, the market didn't move. Why am I down 50%? Their dividend is in common. I said it's about all they share. All right, let me jump into some tickers from you guys. Again, so Casey's posting the stuff on there. If you guys want the course, that's going to be like the school link. You always notice Casey's posting 2 links. If you're more like the monthly type, you just want to try it out. You want to see what I'm buying and selling. I posted in there. We bought HIMS. What was the last one? 15 something. Been buying HIMS up right here, so it's up right now. Hopefully that absolutely sends it. Now again, just if you are new, I plan on having this for a bit. A lot of times I'll sell calls and everything, but I'm not going to sell calls on this until we're juiced up. I don't want to make a little money. I want to make a lot of money. So this one is the pick that you're going to see. So far, there's been, 3 or 4 buys down here. So hopefully we absolutely send it. I had tight Russell hedges that got stopped. Was looking to protect from a drop. Likely won't add back any breakdown order at this point. But I like your SQQQ idea. Yeah, I think SQQQ because I just want a little more sauce than just a short QQQ position. But I don't necessarily want to just give myself an expiration, like with a put contract. QQQ. I bought 2 QQQ put spreads. Hang on, let's check that out. Bought 2 QQQ put spreads, 611 and 609 to limit risk. 611 and 609. Okay, so you're going from here to here. Would it have been better to buy one wider spread to risk the same amount with one spread, or was buying 2 narrow spreads the right choice? It's the same thing. So you bought a $2 spread. So you're thinking, should I buy 2 of those or one $4 spread? But so they're going to cost the same. But think about the movement, right? Because right now your total out net, it's going to be $4 worth of options money, right? You can have one spread for $4 or two $2. But right now on your 2, we need to get to 609. So for that to just be banging 100%, or probably a little over 100%. There's your max profit right there. Where if you buy one wider one, now you got to bring it down. Now you're talking about it needs to get to here. There's a lot of extra movement. So I would rather, and I talk about this quite a bit. And I actually love the $2 spreads on SPY and QQQ. I don't know why, but I'm usually hammering multiples of those out. If I say I bought a spread on those 2, just know it's probably a $2 spread. So I would rather, 3 $5 spreads versus one $15 spread, which used to be a lot more common when, Google and Amazon were $3,500 a share. You're risking the same, you're going to make the same, but the particular ticker has to move a lot less. So unless there's a strong sell point someone wants to bring up to me, no. Because Yeah, especially if you're at the money, because someone's going to be like, well, you could do $2 spreads here, or $4 spread down here. They need to be relatively the same. But I don't know why I'm open to new ideas. If you can tell me why you would rather do $4 spread, I'm all ears. But I haven't found a reason. CrowdStrike. I do like Crowd. Now I like Crowd. When did I like Crowd? We talked about it the other day. Did it not have red earnings? Was it red? What was the one that I really liked, but then it just was it Crowd right here? So I actually still like Crowd. I think I liked it right here. I was like, I like it. Then that happened. I was like, naturally. Gosh, it needs to get above. I'm going to speed bump zone this out. I do like this one. I like it more. Again, anything that I say I like right now, I'm holding until the end of the year. Typically, midterm years, we're going to chop around, dance around. We're going to do a whole just jack all, nothing. But then, like the last 3 months of the year, as the uncertainty settles, because midterms are done, I want to say most of the time we were just bullish. So anything I take on right now, I'm not taking a loss on, so that all that does is, to some new person's ears, oh, I'm just going to bag hold. But no, that changes your risk drastically, because you can go all in this one ticker, but your stop loss is going to be right there, for any kind of amount of risk. So if I'm saying like I'm going to weather a storm, I need to weather a potential, we're talking about Category 5 hurricane, an F4 tornado, not a drizzle, So you take on much less risk, or much less shares, much wider stop position. And that's where I'd be at, because right now, Crowd is going against literally everything that I come on here and talk about. I not to say that I make fun of people, but the reason why it's easy to look smart to them is because they come onto these streams and call crap out that looks like this. From the top left to the lower right, I just realized we're not even max view. There we go. Top left to the lower right, that your money's probably going to continue, especially if you don't know what you're doing, or that's the worst part. You don't know what you don't know, and you think you know what you're doing, and someone might have sold you a really good, cool idea, and then it just continues. If you're not a knife catcher, don't worry about stuff like this. I particularly do like this. It just goes without saying, this one does need a disclaimer. My HIMS average is 1592. Nice. All right. Tesla green day today. Now I drew this out because we're clearly making lower highs. But if we look right here, look at everything the market has done. Okay. Now Tesla can sit in its own realm. It can sit red days out. It's done that a lot. It can also just, whatever the market does, almost act as a leverage ETF, because it just absolutely sends it even further. It's interesting seeing this. I'm going to square this up a little bit. I'm nervous for this zone to break. I don't want it to break. I don't like the looks of this, how it's just kind of going down. But unfortunately, that is the story. We call this just a hammer on glass, is how I try to explain it to people. You just take a hammer and you just keep beating on a piece of glass. More often than not, like this would be your pane of glass right here. And more often than not, the horizontal line is the one that breaks, So we could have it from, coming from the bottom. Now, not every time, but just more often than not. But we're about to get to that point where we find out it's bulletproof glass, or just some cheap Temu hammer, and the hammer breaks, and then we kind of push back up. But nonetheless, when it comes to Tesla, it takes about 3 brain cells to take a trade on this, because why are you in it past the? I mean, you could give it all the wiggle room in the world. 379.85. Why are you still in it if that breaks? As a trader, that's new lows. The story just changed. So your risk is small, because you're pretty close to that right now versus buying up here. But that's where I'm at. I don't want to speak it into existence. I don't want it going anywhere. Please, Tesla, just absolutely send it. So we need Tesla probably really above. I'm going to say 422, because I don't want to say 420 and then all the dorks get excited, Did he say 420? 420.69? Sometimes I can't stand people. You know, especially now if you've made that joke in my chat, I'll let you slide. That's it. The amount of people that have talked about Tesla and that number drove me crazy. Plus, I think the people in my group don't actually care or mean it. That makes sense? Tesla's just a car company, and a weak one at that. Exactly. 313. So it's what, next week? 390 puts sold, 590. I mean, I like it. But if that breaks, it's going to be assignment, and you're likely going to have it, and an average. You got $5 each, so your average cost is going to be $385. You just are right here, but will likely be at that zone. So you probably won't be in any trouble. But if I were to get assigned, I'd probably just sell the 390s right back on the call side. Hey, Tesla at 426.9 is amazing. I'm for it. What's up, Matt? That was your breakdown. Okay, so someone said Google head and shoulders on the daily. I'm sure someone out there is looking at their charts like this. Little shoulder. Fell on his head as a baby. Little baby shoulder because he only works out one arm. This will likely, if we see the markets reject chicken or the egg, whichever one you want to do. Like the Nasdaq's in a zone, so if that sells off, just everyone could sell off all the other tickers in the Nasdaq. Google will feel that weight and probably come back down. I definitely like Google, but there is a reason why Amazon and Microsoft are one of my top dip buys right now, and not Google. One, it's because if you were on this channel, you should have. Well, you heard me say load up at 150, so you double your money. There's nothing to worry about. But also, it's up there. After that run Google's been on, it can go sideways a little bit longer before it to be a steal or a deal. Right now, just like every other stock, it's pushing up. When it pushes up like that, it'll pull over or pull back. Right now, we're pulling over. Now, Microsoft is one. Now, there was a lot of flow the other day on some Microsoft calls, really loading it up. Now, I have been buying Microsoft and Amazon and Netflix, but significantly more on the Microsoft side, followed by Amazon. And then there's a gap to how much I'm buying on Netflix. You said Microsoft and Amazon are the main stocks you're buying the dip on. Would you do the same with a small account? Yeah. Yeah, small account, big account, it doesn't matter. I don't know why that would ever be a question, because maybe I'm reading it wrong, but absolutely drives me nuts when I watch people come in here and like, well, I don't have $100,000. All I have is $1,000, so I'm going to buy this, and then they buy some other crap ticker because they want to buy more than one share. Like if Microsoft was $3,500 a share, I would rather buy 0.25 shares of that than some other crap ticker. It's just about money allocation, a percent of your account and the risk profile of what you're buying. How much am I truly risking by buying this? With fractional shares and zero commissions, it doesn't matter if you have a $400. If I had a $400 account, I would rather buy 0.99 shares of Microsoft. Actually, if I had a $400 account, I'd probably, this is not financial advice, $400 account, man, 100 would be a lot. 100 in Microsoft, 100 in Amazon, 25 in Netflix, 25 in HIMS. Where did I put the rest? What are we, 250? 150 left to go. 170, 100 in Tesla. And then let's go 50 in AMD. The remainder goes in AMD. Boom. That's it. Not financial advice. If you lose all your money, that's your fault 'cause you're the one clicking buttons. You know, the normal disclaimer. Do your due diligence. Microsoft is at a standard deviation, and that jumped up, hit that zone, found some sellers. I don't care. Send it to 2 or 3. Got to put some in Palantir. I'm not Tom Nash. I like Palantir, but I like Palantir later when it's cheaper. Wait, what? AMD, not NVIDIA. Yeah, I think you'll see more percentage-wise out of AMD. NVIDIA would be the better company to just buy and forget about, but AMD's not going anywhere, you know? Have you seen anything at Microsoft? Yeah, is that it? Okay. Meta. Let's get a little meta action. Look at Meta go. That's the reason why it's my number 1 position. Oh, and I just said all that without. No, I take my Tesla play. I would take back what I put in Tesla, and I would split that between Tesla and Meta. There we go. Triple dip on Meta so far. This week's looking for the retest of the 650 to sell next week's Friday put, most likely. Okay, so what Cody's doing is selling some puts on Meta. Trying to think how to explain all this. This is something we talked about a while back because Meta is very capital intensive. Not a lot of people have the money to just sell a cash secured put on Meta. You know, that's 65,000. And when you're talking about tying up 65,000, there's a lot of other tickers that would pay more on paper. You know, now you do take on a little bit more risk. They're just naturally gonna have that volatility that Meta doesn't have, which is also why I like Meta. Now you get paid a little bit less, but you also in my opinion, the risk just isn't really there. So what he's doing to make up for that is it sells off. He sells a put, green day, closes it, sells back off, sells another put. Now we're up. So it's closed. So he wants it to come back down to sell another one. All same expiration, same everything. So he's hoping for a red day and then sell. And this is something I did was an at the money put. I don't mind having a little bit more Meta. Not a bad play. And honestly, if all I had was 65,000, that would be the play for me. I would take that and I would just sell that every week, and I would probably have to double and triple dip. It wouldn't even be a day trade. But I would take that. That'd be the start of my snowball. If I had 65,000, I'd sell the 650 puts on Meta, and I would take that cash, and I would probably start building a position somewhere else and let it snowball on its own. Riskier, but HIMS. I think I would. If I had 65,000, I would sell a 650. I would take that money. I would buy HIMS. And then next week, I would take that money and I would buy HIMS. Eventually, I'd have 100 shares, and I would start selling calls against my HIMS position. Then I would technically have two little snow factories. I would take that and start buying another position. Since I have what I would have there is a lot lower risk and a lot higher risk profile. I'd probably go with something like a medium, like an AMD or something. Let's see. Shop. Shop's, I kind of like Shop. Giant bear flag or reversal. You know, if you're bearish, you're going to call that a bear flag. If you're bullish, you're going to call that the low. Very horizontal right now, so you're not really out of the woods till it gets above probably 132. I would be looking for some kind of selling or sideways action. Like let me just not buy it as we test these highs. As it comes back down, I would look to either sell puts or grab a position. Let's say I wanted to buy a position right now. Now, typically, I would come into this zone. I would pick one. I'd want to go here. Now, if we came ripping and roaring right through, there's no need to be buying right here. You would just kind of let it do its thing. But because we don't know, let's say we pull one of these. Let's say we're just red and we're right here. Stop one. We're about to hit that bell. I would treat every one of these as a dip buy. which means if I want to buy a total of 4 shares, that's what my risk is at. I'm going to put my stop right down here. I'm going to buy 1 here, 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 and here. Not I'm going to buy 2 here and double down later. I'm not going to just buy all 4 and close my eyes when it's down here. I'm not going to buy 1 and 3 more just to average down. Like, I made this plan before I ever clicked the buy button, and there's a huge difference when someone does that. So I would treat every one of these. And now hopefully we would get a red day like this, because if I could buy all 4 shares right here, that's banging. I would love that. But we would need an absolute, because if the momentum's just cruising, I let the sellers do their thing. Like right here, I would probably skip this zone and grab it right here. The timing of that would end up playing out. But that's the thing, is you just don't know. So that's why I would want, obviously, the best price I could get. But if we're just kind of grinding our way down, I got to assume there's buy orders in every one of these zones. And then what if one day we just, it's world peace, the whole Iran military is dead, and now they're our ally. Who knows? And all of a sudden it's just the biggest green candle. At least I was already in there. Kind of keeps the FOMO at bay. The reverse on SD and SNDK, you can get enough premium to get 1 or 2 shares of Meta a week. Okay, that's pricey though, with a little bit more risk. CoreWeave, did not go over CoreWeave already? I thought we did. It was Crowd. Never mind. Okay, CoreWeave. CoreWeave was the one that when I pulled up Crowd, it was CoreWeave that I liked. I was like, man, this kind of looks like we might be doing something. The next day, absolutely sent it. What a POS. So I do still like it, but honestly, I wouldn't even put my stop way down here. I would have my stop at 69.35. That would be it. I would go long. Yeah, I would go long. We've bounced here. I mean, we got a little bit below, 1, 2, 3 times. So either the buyers are holding that up. You got Goldman Sachs buying right there, or there's just no more buyers. And in that case, neither am I. You guys can lose your money. I'm not here to lose money or just watch it evaporate. That's what I do on 4th of July, and it's got cool colors, loud noises. I get to shoot some out of a rifle. It's amazing. SNDK is not liquid on options at all. Never mind then. App, can I zone? Ta-da! I sure can. Now, what I did do was I zoned it all out, and then I edited it and chopped that out just really fast because it's a live stream. Here we are. Yeah, so if you have my chart link, you should have all this. You're in the Discord, so you should have my chart link. That's another thing, guys. If you are even on the Patreon, you guys have access to this. Even if you're a YouTube member, you can save my chart as a layout. So you have every ticker that I've zoned out. You have all my lines. You have everything. I would just refresh it. It's looking, you haven't really got the clear signal yet. So we're into this zone. We're thinking, hey, we're probably looking for some sellers. We tried to crack above it, ultimately still held in it. So you got to watch out for that. Otherwise, you're going to hear me say, like, it's a zone until not, like, why did you go long? We're clearly looking for a rejection right here. Rejection, and we pull back and kind of make that higher low right here. That's where I would buy, maybe buy a little bit more, and then just sit on it for a second, see if we can't break up and out. Lori says it's not liquid at all, but I do like the premiums on SanDisk. Yeah, SanDisk just now got the popularity. Iran stock offering dump by the dip. I don't think so. Is that it? There's a stock offering and it dumps that. Would they offer 4 more shares? I thought there would be like a, when you said that, I thought there'd be like an actual dip. Are we missing something? Hey guys, I needed some cash at the vending machine, so I'm going to sell another share. That's about what that offering news looks like. Usually when there's offering news, it looks a little bit more like that. Like, oh crap. For now, if I can't tell it on the charts, then it didn't matter. That headline was nothing. I take back what I said. I probably just wouldn't care for it if this zone breaks. I think right now I'd have to go 34.85 on my stop, and then if it hits, it hits. If it doesn't, it's still in my account. Right now, very sideways. So here's like our main zone. I will zone this out a little bit further for you guys. Because we do kind of need to pay attention to this area right here. I think Iran was approved and building another center, something like that. It sounds like there's just a bunch of noise right now. Offering up to $6 billion in shares, and we absorbed it that fast. There should not be a green candle if anyone was worried about that. I think that looks great for that. There's a $6 billion sell order basically coming in, and it looks like that. Or is that insider news and it hasn't actually been announced yet? I feel like that should be a lot further down. How do I develop exit strategy when you buy a call option? Certain percentage or dollar amount? Dollar amount for me. Without an exit strategy, greed never let me sell with profit. I wouldn't do that. I will say it's pretty hard to do on an options contract. It was definitely a lot easier when it was like Amazon was $3,500. Because I would buy a call option. It'd probably be $15,000, $16,000 just for one option, but it would shoot up, $4,000 or $5,000 almost instantly. So my stop loss would be like $1,000 away, or maybe $500, because you have to give it. If you don't give it any wiggle room, and by wiggle room I mean a hot dog down a hallway kind of wiggle room, it's just going to tag out. And all you did was just take less money for it. So it is pretty hard. A lot of times, if I'm going to play the in and out game, I bought a call, say I bought the 100 strike call, whatever ticker it is. Now it's up a whole bunch. I'll sell the 105 call. And then if it continues, I got a spread. If it sells back off, I buy back the 105, and then I ride the 100 back up. Signed with the major purchase deals totaling about $3.5 billion with Dell for GPUs and related services, with phased deliveries for 2026. Wow, 2 hours ago. Okay, so they hit us with we got $3.5 billion order, and then we're like, by the way, we're selling $6 billion. They're canceling each other out pretty well. I'm genuinely surprised. It's not lower though. I gotta say, I like when things are holding up like that. Like, why is that not lower? And then when you know why, what creates the red and green candles, it's buyers and sellers. Why are we not selling this right now? Tells me a lot of people might just be buying. Either a lot of people are buying it up, like I'll take it, or a lot of people are just like, I don't care, do what you want. I'm keeping my shares. You can't talk me out of it. Either way, I like having my money in those things. Iran sinking after hours. Thoughts. I don't call that sinking. I feel like I'm looking at a chart without it. You guys are making me feel like I have outdated information. Sinking. If I was on the 5-minute time frame, that's probably sinking. I wouldn't have even, if I had all my money in this, my phone still wouldn't have gone off. Your Ethereum portfolio must be looking great today. It is, but my Bitcoin portfolio is also looking great. I don't check it. To be honest, all my buys and everything are on Coinbase, and I ship it to an account that I don't see on cold storage. Which I do have a video coming up. I meant to the video that I had to buy another ledger. I recorded a video transferring all my Bitcoin to a ledger. Turns out I don't have that computer anymore, and I did not transfer the file, so I have to do it again. So I do buy Bitcoin every week. So this latest one, I'm gonna unbox it, show you how to transfer everything from a plastic wrapped box to I'm going to set up the account and transfer the Bitcoin over. So the video is coming out. But it also helps me through all the ups and downs with cryptos because I'm not actually looking at it. Trade options on TradingView like a stock. Watch the chart. You can. Yeah, if you're watching the chart, you'll see the ups and downs on there. You'll see you need to give it some wiggle room. Put it on a line chart, and it'll all be there. Let's see. AVGO earnings ran into a brick zone. Do I need to delete it? So we're almost at 2 standard deviations. Broadcom. Now, this is a Pelosi ticker. So we went down 1 standard deviation, up 1 standard deviation, and then exceeded that. We hit that zone, sold off, hit it again. I have to zoom in for anybody looking on their phone. This is a 30-minute chart. We sold off, ran back into it again, sold off all the way down to there. Now we're right back up. I would probably be on the lookout for a continuation. Now we expect sellers in this zone, so anyone that's following me shouldn't be surprised at that. If I bought a bunch of shares as an earnings play, I would have sold them in case there's a rejection. I'm assuming rejection. If I did see sideways action, I would get back in. If I'm not in, I would wait for the dust to settle. Then, as of now, I hate that that's lower highs. That could just be an amazing earnings and just be yet another lower high. Does need to get above that zone. I do like this one as a hold right now, though. Now we quit putting in with this last bit right here. We quit putting in the lower lows. So the only thing we need now for a reversal is probably, if we can get above that 350 market, I think it's rocking and rolling. Had earnings. Any continuing or just red green while the whole market is green? I'd say this is holding up pretty well, given what the market's been up to. I would be bullish this one. I have a 340 covered call on AVGO. That's pushing it. That's 2 standard deviations up. So there's a 96% chance that that's going to be fine. But your 340 tomorrow, Lori. Now this is not financial advice because this is on YouTube. But if Lori and I were having lunch right now, I would say tomorrow you're going to be really green because of Vega Crush. Yeah, you're in a call. It went green, not nearly green enough. So it's just in general, you could close that out for a nice profit. Let Friday absolutely send it to the moon and go 2-3 standard deviations. Sell another one. Okay, silver. All logic says that this should boom. JP Morgan messing with the price. Grab while it's hanging out. Missed the 75 put assignment today. I like that you called that out. Yeah, I do. And that's why, like, if Wall Street Bets is talking about it, only those people care about it. When the big players are in there moving their pieces around, big players, they're not out for little bucks. JP Morgan went short. Now, they already closed it out. So clearly they don't think it's going any lower. They would have held on. Or they just made a whole bunch of money and they wanted to call it a day. But I think China's still controlling the miners. Are they still not selling to us or whatever that whole fiasco was? Personally, I like it. I'm buying silver and gold, SLV and GLD. I don't expect it to probably keep that momentum, but I do think the grind up will be worth it. If I were you though, you had a 75 put sold. I think I'd probably keep it. I'd roll next week's 75, or bump it a ticker. At least get paid to get in this thing. So much for selling my physical silver. It dropped below 90 immediately. I see a lot of people trying to sell their silver while talking it up. It's every part of me does. It's so hard not to troll people online that are trying to talk people into buying their silver because they need it. Like, why wouldn't you be telling them to go to like a broker or something? Why they got to buy your silver? Is it because you want to get out? You know, something's not. Math isn't mathing, you know. Palantir, 2 standard deviations. Now this, I could sell a 155, 157 call spread on this. Looks good as far as the a reversal goes. I would watch out for. So right now, here's the bulls. We need to see the bears to really judge where this is going. If the bears can only get it to this blue zone or this yellow zone right here, the Fibonacci people are happy. The Elliott wave and all their excuses, those people are happy. They're going to sign a letter to it on multiple time frames. You know, like everyone's happy, which means there's going to be buyers there at that zone. There's people that follow like price action, stuff like that. There's just you want to call it confluence, a lot of excuses. If you're just looking at buyers and sellers, a lot of popular ones might be right around this area. So that could be a good high or low for Palantir. It's probably worth waiting for some kind of dip buy on that. War is good for them. I have a 145 and a 142 covered call. Fight to keep it or move on. I'm not letting things go the first week. Up one strike, out 1 week. And if I don't get paid for that, I would entertain going 2 weeks out, provided we're still looking good. So I'm not dying on that hill. I would get paid for every roll. 2 weeks would be tops. You own it at 50, so you're okay with letting it go? Yeah, I think I would. No way I'd let it go right now. My silver 75 put was for today. You missed assignment by 34 cents. It's usually the opposite for me. It usually tags my stop by 34 cents and then absolutely sends it on like a $2,000 product. That might be a blessing in disguise. I don't think there's a rush with silver. I think the hype. I still think it's going to go up. I think the way it's going to go up, I think it's going to change. We're going to kind of go back into the traditional silver where we might just start that grind up. So I think it's a blessing in disguise. You missed. I'd sell another put and just keep getting paid. I bet what you make in premium would rival what it goes up anyway. Netflix. Let me know in the comments down below, especially if you're watching as a recording. Were you listening to me when I said I was buying Netflix for my reasons? And then did you buy Netflix yourself? Just saying. It's looking good. Now, yeah, what are we calls on shares? Want to add on if we base out in this zone? I agree. So right now that's going to be an ascending wedge. All the day trading nerds are going to talk about how it's going to reject, and it could. I absolutely hate the wedge pattern. It could reject, and they're going to tell you that's why. It could absolutely send it, and they'll tell you that wedge is why. I would rather listen to Elliott Wave and all their excuses than anyone talk about the wedge. I do think this will be a tough zone to get above. So hopefully we see something like this right here, where we really just have that game of tug of war and then start to, because at that point we know where to put our stop. if we add on, there's no point in riding 1,000 shares up and 2,000 shares down. So we let it throw off some wicks. We know we're going to put our stops right below that, and then we let the market do its thing. I rode Netflix down and sold. Typical retail trade winner. Why did you do that? No way. Is Lisa still here? Let's check out Google. You know what? Oh, I forgot. Guys, on Sunday, we opened up some Pokemon cards. We let Pokemon decide the fate of the stock market, and it was green. We pulled a green card, green markets. We're going to do that again today. Google. Someone was talking about a Head and Shoulders earlier. I definitely would keep an eye out. Because and I don't really care what you want to call it, but we're hitting that zone. Buyers only got this far. Hit that same zone again, and buyers only got here. Kind of tells me there's just less and less follow through. Either the bears are getting their friends, and they don't have to be bearish. Google, they probably just made a whole bunch of money. The market movers subscribe to me, so maybe you might be new, but they're not. They heard me say, hey, it's time to go all in, 150, 160. Go watch my videos from this time frame. I was selling puts. I was buying shares. This is the time. And then they doubled their money. So they don't even need to be bearish Google. They just think, hey, that's good. I made 100%. So they sell it, and then they take that, and then they go buy Microsoft. There's just better opportunity without actually being bearish. They're just allocating their money somewhere else. So Google probably isn't one of the hot ones right now to just be piling into. If we were to put all the stocks on a totem pole as far as order of importance or better dip by, Google's on the totem pole, but it's just probably not in the most optimal spot. So I don't want to say I'm bearish Google, but I would be cautious right here as far as like loading up. If I didn't have Google, I would buy it. I have Google, so there's no point in me adding on more right here. Let's see. Why did you ask if I was still here? Because I read your comment, but I didn't say it out loud on the stream. I wanted to let you know I was breaking down your ticker now. Space Mobile. Above this zone. I think if we get past, this is a yellow zone right here. I think we get past that, we're in new territory. I think it's looking good. We're at a speed bump zone right now. I would be really cool if that could just pull back and hit that zone. I don't know. So honestly, if I'm gonna play any game with this, I do have to have my stop right here at 102.45. Stop out and get back in. If I had 100 shares, maybe I would sell 50. I'd put a stop loss for 50 of them right here. Add that 50 back. Kind of get cute with that. I wouldn't say this is we got to sell right now. That it's kind of like, do I entertain this thing? Do I want to get cute with it, or do I just hold on to it? Watching it go down to here would not make me nervous at all. I would just think, do I have enough, and do I want more right here at this zone? Let's see. Dawn knows you like Netflix. She says, I do have a lot of it. You have a 108 covered call. What are you even worried about? Is it for December of this year? I'm just giving you a hard time. I think that's fine. I think we're going to run into, I think the momentum's slowing down, especially if it's for this Friday. I think you're going to be fine. Communication tickers are kind of recession resilient. I don't like calling things recession resilient. There's a conversation for it, but every recession is so unique that I don't want to, people could just build up to that and then just be in trouble later. Netflix, sixth largest position behind XLK, SPY, SoFi. You have more SoFi than you do Netflix? Okay, Lisa's expiration is this Friday. I think you're fine. I wouldn't even be worried about that. If I was, most of your money's going to be out of that thing, come tomorrow. Close it down and just sleep soundly. You have a 123 for this Friday. Oh, that has to not get to that zone, but probably push through it. I think you would need a catalyst for that one to be in trouble. Now, however, if we did stay up here, this one I would let expire worthless. If we were down here, probably going to roll. If we're hanging out here in the middle, probably going to roll. 20 deltas, whatever I normally do. But if we are up here, I would let that expire worthless. Hopefully, we have just an absolute banger Monday. We're up here. That way, I can move my strike somewhere a lot higher. Hopefully, above that somewhere. But, ladies and gents, okay, I do have a question, so I need your keyboards to start working. Yeah, I'll wait here all night until you guys answer me. Let's get to the real scenario. What do you think about this? I need to get that's the logo. This is actually like shiny. It's a hologram. It's a matte. Anyway, it's got all of them on there. Charizard just happens to be the one you see. Now here's the question. Now we opened these on Sunday. It did give us a green card. It told us the markets were going to be green. What do you know? They were green. In the face of a bunch of red, they were green. Or do I open this bad boy? Because this one there could be $1,000 card. This is the newest set. Which one are we doing? Lee says, I will be skiing in the mountains next week. Not much trading for me. Let them expire worthless and just hang out. If I knew I was going to be on let's say you're skiing, you're on the mountains. I'm doing one or two. Like, there's ones I'm just going to keep. I probably don't have anything sold on them. The ones I don't care, probably a 30 delta. That says, do it again. You're in Montana. I don't know how cell service is up there. Is it this one? I need to know. Ascended, rip all of them. No. So the new thing we're gonna do is we're going until we get a red or a green card. Red or a green energy. One pack just isn't enough. I hope we don't get just one pack. What's the question? Do you believe in witchcraft? The question is, do we open out of this? Here's the two: Ascended Heroes or Destined Rivals. Which one are we rocking here? I could do red or green. It's more of a teal. Heroes. Okay. Well, hoping for some red energy. All right, I think it's what it's called. Yes. Red energy. And then we know it's going to be red. Like the cardboard broke right there or something. Little cool card box. Got our sleeves. Now this one comes with this one does come with a cool card. I didn't make sure are we focused in? I got to get my screen over here. All right, make sure we are. There we go. Okay. I think that's what we get. Dice. Ooh, now I do talk about the markets are a coin toss. Here's the that just means we're going to hit a yellow zone. We'll see a red or a green card. That's when we know. I'm going to keep this here. For every heads, there's a tails. And if your risk analysis doesn't have that in there, then you're probably not going to make it. And you're probably very biased, at least. Oh, we can get that out. So for real, if you are a parent and your kids are into it, have them scan that code. Oh, it's one pack. Oh, and this does line up. Everything's in a zone. Red energy straight out of the gate. They didn't even want you to question things. Red. So if markets are red tomorrow, the answer is yes. I do believe in witchcraft, in which an ice cream cone came to life and told me the markets were going to be red. We did get that one. Team Rocket, those things dig. Man, one was just not enough, though. I don't like opening just one. That's kind of leaves us more for the other ones, right? Anyway, oh, man. Straight to red. No jacking around. How much does that box of cards, dice coins cost? I think they're $125 a box. And there's 9 packs. What do you know of green? Dibs on the dice. Do you want the dice? Are you for real? I'll ship them to you if you really want them. My sister works at Yellowstone. She has to wait to return to the lodge to hook up to what? Oh yeah. I imagine you're probably not getting a lot. What a crap rib. We can't confuse it. That's the rules. We open until we get red or green. Get the gold card? Oh, I want to. Because those are expensive. Those are nice. All right, ladies and gents. I'm going to get this wrapped up here. It worked on Sunday. It looks like tomorrow's going to be red. If it's not red, I'll get you like maybe a customer service number maybe for Pokemon. You can hit them up. Send them a strongly worded email. Say that you don't appreciate how they did their cards. But I will see you guys. Make sure you're subscribed. Again, we're going to test out the Friday video, evergreen content. So if you happen to miss it this Friday, you should be able to watch it any Friday from now. But